Hey, it's Andy Wolf here. Hey, it's Sunday afternoon, and daylight savings is over, so it's going to start to get dark pretty soon. I'm here at the experimental farm, but I'm pretty excited because tomorrow at 6 o'clock over at the RA Center on Riverside Drive is the annual officials update for the Outaouais region of the National Capital Division. And there's quite a full agenda. It's a 3-hour meeting. It starts off with a quiz, and then there's some case studies. And it should be, and if there are local case studies, I'll be pretty excited about that. I'm really anxious to find out how that, oh, never mind. So Andrea Nichols is doing a presentation on referee, the rights and duties. I have a PDF that I've given a course like that more than a couple of times to coaches, and I created a cheat sheet that's PDF. It's attached here, but I printed off. I got one in my couple in my pocket normally, and if a young referee is there, I introduce myself and say, hey, look, I've got one of these. If you'd like to have one, it's a good aid memoir. I said I use it and pull it out a lot, so that's appended. It's quite helpful. Rights and duties of coaches, course setters, referees. It's all right there. So I'm looking forward to the meeting. I think lots of healthy topics there, and I'm sure there'll be discussion and questions. It'll be fun with the quiz, though, because the quiz is 30 minutes long, and most people don't carry an ICR with them anymore. So there'll be a lot of people just flipping through their phones and doing searches in their PDF if they've got a tablet or a laptop with them. You don't really see a lot of tablets, big tablets on the hill anyway. Little tablets, they call them phones. Yeah, so we have a section on due process, which is really good. Usually comes up with respect to sanctions during a race, which are pretty easy. I've had to deal with the kid that took off his skis and started throwing snowballs at the course worker who left a rake line. That was an interesting sanction. But no, sanctions are pretty easy to deal with because you get everybody together, everybody gets a chance to speak, and then you can take a decision. Now, an individual sanction can be a due process just with an individual member of the jury. You can just say, okay, that kid trashed the course. Have his coach come in and see me. And then you can deal with that individually because you're just usually doing a verbal reprimand. But if it's a more serious one, you have to get people involved. The technical delegate makes sure that everybody has a right to speaks if they wish to. If they don't, that's fine too. And then you determine an appropriate penalty if one needs to be there. It's pretty straightforward on race day. Where it gets a bit more interesting with sanctions, if it's past the race and there's a complaint against an official or somebody at the race, how do you deal with that? Now, before, if it was an official and it was a code of conduct thing, then there was a process set out in the National Officials Program Code of Conduct that followed very much what was in the ICR, and that was the whole idea, is that we'll follow the ICR because everybody's familiar with that. Now, with that process is disappearing, and officials fall into the code of conduct with everybody else. Everybody is under the same code of conduct, so it follows the same process, which goes to an independent third party, or it goes to the person responsible at ACA for safe sport, and they determine how they're going to deal with it, whether it's a major or minor infraction, and they may deal with it themselves, they may dismiss it, or they may do what we did in the past, is just impanel 3 people or peers of the person that's accused of misconduct and deal with it there. But it's outside now. It's moved outside of the National Officials Program, and it's moved over to ACA because it used to be officials. Now, the couple of them, I've been involved in three, four, I don't know. But first one we dealt with it fine. I was the officials chair. Panel was struck. And it dealt with, and this is the issue. The other ones just came from coaches and they have special rights at a race. If they choose not to exercise their rights, then there's no complaints coming after about a behavior an official. It just does. It's all happened. It's over. Sorry, you had your time. You had your time. You can file a protest against a jury member if you think it's an unusual behavior. But anyway, it's that line. Now with safe sport, where's the line? Something happens at a race with an official or anybody else. When is the race over And when does a disciplinary process start with the independent sports agency on safe sport? Like when does the race end and separate disciplinary procedures or investigations start? That's the process, and the one that I've been involved with there, that it's fallen down completely because the people that are in charge of making sure it works properly are the ones that making sure it doesn't work properly. They just kind of bypassed all of the due process that people were supposed, and not one of them has said, "Hey guys, we got to follow a process here. Everybody gets to talk. Everybody gets to be represented." It's pretty straightforward. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that part of the meeting. You know, I'm going to be wearing my good behavior hat. This isn't it, but I'm going to be wearing my good behavior hat.